Hey. I'm not entirely sure if my microphone is picking up correctly. I hope it is. I'm not entirely sure if my microphone's picking up correctly, but this is more or less just like a miniature test stream, I guess, to just see how well my internet handles HD streaming. We just got NBN connected, so we're hoping our upload rate should be able to keep up with it. Getting phone notifications. So I don't know, I just sort of wanted to test out switching between scenes and see how it does with loading models and whatnot. I don't even know. Let's do some work on the Bluetooth speaker, I guess. I really do need to update this part. If anyone, you guys guessed, no one really would know that I just actually acquired a couple of extra printers from that 3D print guy. So he's being a real good lad and hooked me up with some bits and pieces. So while my current Hypercube is, or the Hypercube Evolution that I built is currently not really running that well, I do actually want to reprint this this device, but in preferably one piece, because the original design was actually designed to only be in one piece. But I wasn't actually able to make that work. So unfortunately, I know for a fact from use of the device, these walls need to be pushed out a little bit. By out, I mean in. Not -5, maybe like -1. We ran into an issue where these don't actually line up right with the PCB that I got made. So hopefully I can pull that -1. It's giving us some nastiness in the corner, but that should be okay. Hopefully. Push-pull. Also, I want to get rid of these holes. I actually learnt that doing this, the actual indentations for the tack switches was not a great idea. Oh, it's not a very uniform size, is it? Completely forgot. That's not going to work either. Well, I think that works for the most part. And we can extrude it up. To wherever. Can't I do it to something? Hey, there's more of you guys. I'm currently trying to close this hole. It's being a lot harder than I thought it would be. Does that get rid of it? I hope so. Zoom out for a sec. What is going on there? So I don't actually know if that many people have seen this. It's the Bluetooth speaker I designed quite a while ago. But after printing it in many pieces, I've finally learnt that we cannot have certain things on it. They just don't work. And I did probably not set up this with the correct sort of dimensioning and method of doing things on here. Oh. I want to check. Where's the slightest overhang from that? I don't really feel like adding something extra. Can I just like pull this? Include those. Actually, don't include those. And I don't even know where I went. Why are you not letting me zoom out? I'm not entirely sure what's going on here. It's not letting me zoom out. Why are you not letting me? This is the one problem I have with Fusion, like, there we go. Why is it zooming me in so much? extrude and get rid of it. There we go. And trying to pick up and clean some of these things is a bit painful. Yeah, Rikkidachi, it's not like, it's a little confusing, especially because I jumped straight into the deep end when I first designed this, so it's way too complicated for what I really know how to do, but I've sort of learnt a lot on the way. But this model, actually I have the completed device here in multiple colors due to the fact that it takes an absolute metric crap load of filament to print. But there's certain issues with this design that I need to fix that I haven't really done so, because I've been really worried about reprinting it because it takes so long to print. But that said, I also need to fix a few bits and pieces. I've changed some design bits and pieces on here as I've gone. I've actually got a couple of small PCBs, these little tack switch control pad things. I've got a couple of PCBs made up, and although they came out close to the dimensions, they didn't come out to the exact dimensions that were translated into the model. So although the mounting holes worked, the tack switch position didn't sit right, so I have to make a bunch of different changes. But to be honest, after using it like this with the tack switches exposed, I don't really care. It, I don't know, gives it a bit of a different look and it sits a little bit better. I just have to sort of chip away at the walls a little bit to make a little bit extra room. Also, another problem is when I had this, used to leave it in my car, and then I would sort of like leave it in there and take it out when I went to work, because it's particularly I designed this to go to work with. The heat in my car, although being PLA, didn't melt it, but it softened it enough that it's actually caused splitting in the edges of the plastic, which has been kind of a bit of an irritation. So I want to try and figure out how to stop that from happening. But first things first, I don't need this part just by itself anymore. Guess I can turn that part on. I guess I'll turn this part off and I'll fix some things on this one. So these walls need to be punched in a little bit. -1. Oh. Huh. And this is the problems you get when you got to modify your files. Unfortunately, when I designed this, I didn't actually design it with editing in mind, so it isn't the best of models. I'll extrude that a little bit extra so it has an overhang. Alright, that part. Oh. -1. Makes the corners a bit messy, but hopefully that should print alright. Once I print this this model out again, it'll probably be made available on Thingiverse as well. Okay, what else did I need to change? Oh, I need to cover up these holes. So that's one. Go to 2. If anyone would also like to see any bits and pieces of more or less the initial creation of this device and stuff like that. Have a look on my channel. I believe I did put all the videos, most of them, in a playlist. So if you guys want to go and check that out, you guys can. Yeah, what did I have? I'm trying to remember my own design. That bolt's in there. Another dilemma. So there's the top half. I can join those because they don't need to be separate anymore. Actually, you know what I'll do is I'll modify these parts, and then I'll probably export them as joint and split, so that people can print this and still have they can print this and still get sort of use both methods, whether or not they, you know, if the printer doesn't fit a certain build volume, because I do believe this is somewhere around the 300, maybe 250 millimeter sort of size in terms of length or width. I'm going to punch a hole in here so that the cable can get through. The cable's on the bottom side of the PCB, which is this side, because it's on the side of the USB. So I'll probably just punch a, I don't know, a 15 mil by 5 mil hole. I don't know, that seems to work. Punch that through. There we go. So now I have cable hole. So originally when I designed this, I designed it to be able to have the PCB on the inside, so that means the cable wouldn't have to have a hole to get through to be able to connect up to the amp in the board. And what else do I need to modify? Well, let's export these. Let me see. Medium's alright. We won't be sending it to a utility. What do we call this? Top one? I don't know. This will be top two. There we go. You can turn those off, turn the bottom on. That's something I gotta think of a better way of doing it. I've got a micro USB cable that plugs in and uses this hole and this hole to mount. Now if I print this in 1/2, obviously I can't mount it directly. What do I do? What do I do? I could just hot glue it in place, which would probably be a better scenario than trying to print these little holes. What is going on here? Okay. Can I extrude the hole out? hate this. There's always got to be one, such a small amount. Oh, why do you do this? Can I push pull that to get rid of it? No. That is painful. Distance from that to that. That 0.02 to, imagine trying to extrude or trying to fill that up with your 3D printer. That just wouldn't happen. There we go. So I'll probably just end up gluing those together. Ooh, actually one thing I do want to take note of, these threads. I kind of want to put some sort of locking bolt through it. Yes, so I have actually tried all sorts of different sorts of filament. PETG would be great for something like this as well, because it'd be really durable. But if I want different colors, the closest filament store to me they don't directly have the right sort of colors that I want. It's either black or white, or you go for the really expensive, I believe it's Tolman or something like that. I can't exactly remember what brand it was, but it was quite expensive. I think it was roughly around 50 or 60 Australian for a roll. What was it? The HD glass. So the HD glass was expected. Yeah, so like with the PLA, it really doesn't like heat, which I'm quite surprised that something so big was able to be sort of softened and moved around quite easily in a car. So like it might have maybe got on a hot day in the sun, it might have got to maybe 50 degrees inside the car, which is surprising. But I guess at the same time, PLA does sort of have a sort of a glass temperature, glass transition temperature, somewhere around the somewhere in the neighborhood of, give or take, I believe it's about 60 or 70 degrees, where it really starts to melt. So well, soften. So I'm not entirely sure. I believe, yeah, it would have been about 50 degrees in a car, so it quite possibly could be, yeah. The PLA, it would be nicer. Like PETG is really good because it prints like PLA, but the issue with PETG is it's way more expensive, and the color limitation is quite hard to get. Thanks, man. It actually took quite a long time to model this, especially seeing the fact that I was quite new to it when I first modeled this, and personally, now knowing a lot more, I probably wouldn't model as simple like this. I would have probably broken it down a little bit more. I want to turn on this. I don't know what. Okay, maybe not. How do I? Okay, I do want to turn this on. See, this is the problem I have. It's like all these different components are all in weird spots, and like why is there like those there, and Like, why is there weirds? Like, this is why you you do it right the first time. So now I'm having to come back and I'm all confused. So like, why does turning this body off turn this body off? See, they're linked somehow. There should be. Yeah, this part. Whoa. Okay, let me see. Turn that off. I see, and also with these designs of how bad I did it, look at it. Look at how these placeholder parts are completely in different positions compared to where they should be. So that's that. I want to move that. Alright, so I want to line this up with the threads, so it is theoretically in the right position. Shrink that down. So why don't you line up? I don't think the keys work. Can I move? Okay. I think this should work. Nope. Maybe. Okay, it is. So that looks like it should line up on both sides. Lines up there. Mostly lines up there. It's not perfect, but it will help. 3 threads. I'd rather not reprint the end caps just because they don't really need to be reprinted, but I guess I'm gonna have to if I want to do this. Let's flip around. And I want to punch a hole. Where do I want to punch a hole? I want to punch a hole. Oh, I guess I could probably do underneath. I want this as like a sort of like a locking pin, I guess. Like just stick another screw through it and thread it down so that the feet don't rotate out. Because I can, although it can be sometimes handy, I can unscrew the speaker, but to charge it or to get into the internals is not overly necessary. At a moment's notice, it's not like I'm going to be somewhere where I won't have a screwdriver to take the screw out. I can probably design in to have a spot for a knurled, one of those little M3 nuts that I could use to get in place as well. So I can probably go from the bottom where these holes are. These are holes for the mounting of the stand. So, well, what would be a good way of holding those pieces together? I'm thinking maybe a top and a bottom. Now I don't directly this particular design, the control pad sort of leans forwards. So if the control pad is, so I completely forgot, where's the control pad? Okay, so the control pad is facing that way. So we can probably punch a locking screw around here, I think. Let's see, let's create a construction plane. Let's see if I fail doing this. It's been a while. Can I create a construction plane? Plane at an angle? Yay? Nay? Okay, there's a tangential plane. Where's my construction? Okay, there's our tangential plane. Let's punch a hole. Oh, smack bang right there. Let's just do a... We're doing an M3, so I'll do a 3mm hole, I guess. And then we'll also do a 6mm hole around the outside, so I can also put a small recess so it doesn't stick out so much. So let's extrude. Let's go to our left. Make sure it punches into the into there, and then we should go okay. And then if we turn off, where do they go? I turn off the top. There we go. We have a hole punched into the speaker. Probably not the most ideal spot, but it will be okay. I'll probably end up melting a thing in there just to hold it. Yeah, some of those filaments can be quite expensive. I've got some good connections with the owner of the closest 3D printing sort of store to me, and even he can't get me, you know, like discounts and stuff on the HD glass, which comes in a very large variety, which is PETG. Comes in a very large variety of different sort of colors. He's got his own in-house color, but it only comes in white or transparent. You can get Tolman, but that comes in just transparent. And I believe you can get Zortrex, which is, what's that? Black or grey. So unfortunately, if I want coloured PETG in Australia, it will be definitely having to hit up the HD glass, which is $75 a spool, which is quite pricey, seeing the fact that like a normal PLA roll, I think, what has he got it down for? I think it's like $40. Yeah, look at that, $40 for PLA, and that's even going into some of the exotic colors and types. He's got heaps of colors too. Fluoros, wood fills, and they're all and oh, look at that, even all the fluoros, he's got a fluoro deal at the moment that are $30. So, you know, stuff like that. It's like PLA is so cheap, it's so easy to just print with PLA. I'd rather do that. That one there, that should be alright. I should be able to export this component as it is. I do want to make some extra mounting holes for that, but I'll do that in a sec. Let's turn this top back on, and it's plain, and I don't even know where that sketch went. Where did that sketch go? Look at all the sketches I did for this. There's so many sketches. It's ridiculously confusing. It's like I don't know where my sketch went. It could be in a plethora of different sketches here. Like I said, this sketch, no. Oh my god, so confusing. Where's my sketches? Ooh boy. Now that's some mess up there. Don't even know what that's meant to be. Funny enough, a lot of these sketches are all the same thing. I think they copy over when you build several different things. There we go. That's our sketch. When you like bring in another when you bring in another thing, you end up sort of doing a weird mismatch and gets all messy and stuff. You can stop selecting stuff now, thanks. And we'll extrude that -3, and that's just like a little hole to allow for the screw heads to sort of sink in. I think I've done that. Yeah, I've done that on the other ones too. Like, I don't really think I'll need more than one locking pin. Like, it's not like it's going to be wrenched on, so I should be okay. Let's turn the second top on. And let's create another tangential plane. Turn that on, turn that one off. Create another 3mm. Oh, I don't think that's going to work just there. I'm going to try and line it up with that one. But first things first. Oh, well, I guess I can just print 2 of these. No, I can't. No, I can't. Because they are direction based. So let's try and find the other speaker end. See, there was some of the original designs and cutaways and all sorts of stuff. I don't even know. That's a speaker. I don't know. That's that body. This is my other component. I'll turn those on. Who is messaging me? Oh, people messaging me. Oh, my nose. Well, I guess I've got this component, wherever that is. Is that body there? Okay. So we got that. Let's turn off top 2 and move this. Are you not going to let me? Why am I sketching? This needs to be moved. Oh boy. Trying to line up threads is not easy. Why did that not move? I don't know, I don't think... Oh, that might work. That should work. Yeah, that's close enough. Close enough for my liking. That. And then we turn our construction plane back on. You go see. And zoom in here. Kinda want it to be somewhat in line with this one. Whoa. Not what I had in mind. So somewhere around maybe there. I know it's not going to be spot on, but close enough, right? Oh, what happened there? Did that punch a hole in it? And no. It's just doing some weird thing. So that should cut into it. It did this time. Good. And then we can turn this back on. Find our sketch. And push that back in by -3. So we now have our little recess. Those are locking pins. Now, I'm not overly worried about those sitting around. They're not joint to anything. They're separate pieces. So we have locking pins on these. We've adjusted that. I'm going to hot glue the thing in. I do believe, yeah, there's just enough room. I'm not going to bother trying to cut a contour out for the micro USB port. That just gets a bit messy. The only other thing I want to do is maybe punch an extra bunch of holes. This pattern with this speaker is not correct. Yeah, PLA is good to print. It's so good to just punch out quick parts, and they require so little post-processing. So, what I'm going to do... oh, and if you would like to know, this is where I get all my my filament in Australia. I'm not entirely sure. I believe they ship. I don't know. I think they ship elsewhere. I do believe you can name your sketches. Let me check. I just tend not to. Yeah, you can. Like, you can name them. I probably should, but as I sort of work through, I don't really name them as I go through. In terms of printing ABS, I don't mind it. The smell gives me a headache. Although I know it's not that toxic and blah blah blah. It's still, the smell of ABS sort of gives me a bit of a headache. So we're going to go to Google and go Thingiverse. No. Go to Thingiverse and then try and see if I can find another speaker mock-up that's better than the one that I made. Yeah, see, the model, although is not that complex, like it's complex, but it's not that complex. It's messy. I wish I paid a little bit more attention to how I organized the file. I might release the editable files if I could, but if not, I'll release just the normal files. What is this? A 10-inch? No, not a 10-inch. That'd be stupidly big. Is it 10 centimeter? Oh, that's not how you spell speaker. Wrong key. So I just want mounting for the actual part. Was another one, another good one. Mixmaster car. They might not have. They're more. They wouldn't have placeholder parts. Gee, what is the? Isn't there a? Oh, it's a Mixmaster car or a manufacturer pro. No, we'll see if we can find something. Oh, sorry, my nose is a bit. It's a bit runny today. What brand is this? I wonder if there's anything in here for a brand of Pioneer. Yeah, that is Pioneer. Make sure I spell the brand name right. Is there anything that comes up under that? No. What's another good one for searching? My Manufacturing. I'm trying to think. There was another one that was a good one that had lots of parts. I think it's a 10. Is it a 10 centimeter? I'm certain it is. I got a trusty ruler. Yeah, definitely it's 10 centimeter. 100mm speaker. Can I get a template? Maybe? Pretty please. Oh, it's a download file. Is that a 4-inch? Is it a 4-inch speaker? What is? It's just a 4-inch. I hate how everything in Australia has to be referred to in like stuff like this as like, why does it have to be 4-inch? It's a 10 centimeter speaker. I prefer metric over imperial. Go away. Let's pull up a file. You wouldn't be able to see this because I'm doing it on a different monitor. So this is apparently a cutout document with okay. So if you're not telling me what size these speakers are, 6x9s. I'm gonna take a wild guess at this one is meant to be a 4-inch. Oh yeah, a hole cut out 4.04. So I don't even know why. Oh. Wish when I got these speakers I got a stupid template with it too. Okay, they're not the same speakers obviously, because that's expensive. Just tell me you've got a, yes, cutout dimension template. Give me a template. Installation manual? It's nice to see that my internet is going pretty good. It hasn't dropped a single frame. It is taking a while to download things while I'm uploading. Gee, thanks for the installation. Ooh. Sorry, tad tired. Why don't you give me a template? Bill's web space. That's the same document. That's not cool. Okay, let me check. These mounting holes give or take around 81.3 milliwatt. I would take that as a yes. Because I had issues with getting the screws into these parts. So, oh yeah, and I mounted them in the wrong orientation. So, although these are meant to be driven from a different part, because I've modified them here, I'll probably let's create a circle. What was that? That'd be 102.5. Ugh, my nose. So we have 102.5. We want we're going to extrude that down. Originally I was going to try and make this airtight or watertight with a O-ring, but it didn't really need it after using it for so long. Oh. That's right. Now we've got that punched out. Let's create a rectangle. We want to do a center point in the middle, and we want to do 81.3 by 81.3. So that should give us our points of where our holes need to be. And I'm just gonna do, what do I want to do? I'll just do a let's do a 2mm hole. That way I can change it if I need to. if I could drill it out, if I need a slightly bigger hole, I prefer to drill it than mold it in bigger. You can always remove material, but you can't add it back. Okay, can I move this sketch? What? Okay. You know what? I'm just gonna delete that sketch. I'm gonna click on this outer ring and then actually redo that. Make a rectangle that's from the center. It was 81.3 by 81.3, which is now on the top surface. Now we can make a hole that's 2 millimeters wide. Alright, so we make our hole. Now we select them to punch them out. Let's extrude. I don't want to sink these too far in, but probably 10 mil should be adequate, I hope. Because I also designed these to also get the cover around the outside as well. Okay, so that should be better. I guess I should probably fill these in. What is going on there? I guess if I really wanted to, I could add some extra mounting holes, but I'd rather just keep the like the front of the speaker facing forwards. 10 mil. So there we go. The holes are now in the right position. Oh my god, I'm sorry, my nose. It's gonna keep on running until I blow it. What else? I should probably put some relief on this too. A chamfer by 5. I don't want the cables rubbing up against a sharp corner. And let's put a 1, or maybe a 2.5 millimeter chamfer on that. It's not going to come out flat to the edge of the actual cover, but I'd prefer it that it'd be a little ridge there just to add a little bit of extra detail. And plus, if I decide to leave it like it is now with no cover on it, it'll actually cover up. We'll make it look a little bit nicer. So let's do that again, but on the right side. So let's create another circle. Let's make it 102.5. I'll add that. And then that's extrude that 65 mil down. Let's create another rectangle from the center. That's 81.3 by 81.3. Let's add our 2 millimeter holes. That didn't do anything. can punch those holes through. I think when I design more bigger complex items, I should probably start pulling templates off the internet with exact dimensions rather than trying to eyeball it, because I do believe when I first designed this, I actually just eyeballed all the values when I designed this, and from memory I think I thought that the I had this lined up quite well, but I guess not, because I remember when I first tried to assemble it, it was like an absolute nightmare. Yeah, man, check out the X3D Mark over there. He's really good. I've done some review stuff for them as well, but in general, the PLA, just even their ABS or all of their home stuff, is like, it's quality and it's cheap. I'm currently using a lot of the translucent PLAs just because I really like the color, and it looks really nice. Yeah, let's add those that chamfer, 5mm chamfer, and the 2.5mm chamfer on there. Overall, that should be it. So let's, where's that one? Let's export that. Let's 3D print. Oh boy, that's a lot of triangles. With the little thing hasn't popped up. So let me see. There it is. So 6,574 triangles. That is a lot. So if I'm looking from the front, that is the left speaker. Let that save out. I don't know, where's this one? Component 2. We're going to make that that is the right speaker. I just realized that putting those screws in that back tilted area is not really gonna do much. No. Technically those need to be there, and the speakers holes needs to be on the top, but you know what, that's fine. It doesn't matter if the thing's on top and whether or not it's tilted. Probably better if it's just on top. Makes a little bit more sense. So let's bottom 1, bottom 2. Now what's gonna be that? I'm thinking, well, first off, let's export bottom 1 and 2. So export that. Cool. We'll export bottom 1. So now we've got all the all the bits separated. I'm thinking to avoid that splitting at the tips, like they split like right here when they're bolted together. I'm thinking if I join bottom 2 with top 2 and we print it like that, and then we join those two halves together rather than printing them in such big chunks where they have to, like, rather than doing the top and the bottom separate, we can print these two together and then print the other two together. I think that might work better that way. Yeah, that should work better, I reckon. Alright, so we'll first off, let's turn that one off, turn those off. Let's modify and combine this with this. And modify and combine this with this. So now it's two solid pieces. So we can go, what's that? The right, left, this is the joint, the left, so the joint left, we export the joint right, hopefully that should print well. I'm gonna wrap up the stream there. I wasn't really planning on streaming this long, but I figured why not. Yeah, man, they have really cheap. They have really. Yeah. I've heard of that site. They do have really cheap filament, which is pretty good. I haven't really bought from there before though, so I might have a look. I don't know whether or not like they ship to Australia or not. Let's have a look. Shipping. So if they're from the US, they most likely will ship to Australia, but no doubt trying to get filament out of there is going to be so expensive. So $15 to $23 is that per kilo. $16 for what? That's gonna be 16 US, so it's not too bad, but I bet you anything shipping is gonna cost probably like 40 Australian dollars, which is painful, very painful, which kind of hurts. But yeah, I'm gonna have to call that one a wrap for this stream. It was mostly just to test out the internet and upload speeds, which has been pretty good. I haven't dropped any frames. I've stayed at a steady 60 frames per second apparently, which is good. 1080p. If I ever try and stream anything gaming related, we'll see how well it takes handling the higher screen refresh and all that. But yeah, thank you guys for hanging around. I know there's mostly been just one of you. This is Rick here. But there's also someone else that keeps on popping in and out. But yeah, you guys have a nice day, and I'll catch you guys later. I also will be doing another updated video to do with this as well. So yeah, I'll catch you guys later.